going to interrupt all this wonderful fellowship and food and ask you to continue to eat and feel free to go back for additional refreshments. It's my pleasure to welcome you on behalf of our hospice service this afternoon and all of our caregivers at Angel Medical Center. My name is Jim Ross. I'm the President and CEO at Angel Medical. We have had a very, very exciting year this year. This event, our second annual hospice fundraiser, our Hospice High Tea and Champagne outing. And we want to thank you all, especially for taking time to be with us, taking time to enjoy all these wonderful goodies we have, and most of all, the fellowship that you're enjoying this afternoon.
I want to talk a little bit about the hospice team. I know a lot of people don't know a lot about hospice, but I just want to briefly talk to you about the team that takes care of patients here for Angel Medical Center. The hospice concept in itself looks at all aspects of care of the patients that we treat in the home. And most people don't realize that when you enroll in hospice care that you don't just have one person that's coming to your home to take care of you, but this whole team is there, which is a great support system for the patient, a great support system for the family.
Some of you know, but some of you probably are not aware of the fact that in 1980, then North Carolina Governor Jim Hunt signed a proclamation declaring Franklin, North Carolina, the quilting capital of the world. Thank you very much. This was in response to the completion of what was, at the time, the world's largest quilt. The quilt was the work of Mako Crafts, a non-profit cooperative that operated here. It was made up of 3,500 pieces of fabric, held over 500,000 hand-sewn quilting stitches. Nearly 100 people were involved in making this quilt. And it turned out to be, well, it was so popular that it ended up traveling all over the country. Went to the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts in Washington, D.C. Went to the World's Fair in Knoxville, and has been any number of other places, sort of goodwill ambassador for Franklin, North Carolina. You know that quilts can tell stories. Quilts can record family history. They certainly add beauty to our life, and they provide warmth for both body and spirit. Really, I don't know a better physical representation than a quilt of the work of Angel Hospice. From the moment that Angel Hospice team enters a home, we become part of the construction of a quilt whose making is already in progress. We add more hands to the work. Now, not even the most devoted quilt maker needs or is capable of cutting and stitching 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. That's the way it is with hospice. No caregiver can provide the care all the time. Every single caregiver needs some help in living out the love that they want their family member to have. We as a hospice team cannot take away the pain of watching a loved one slip away from this life. But we appreciate just how important it is for family to be present with their dying loved one. Their presence is a gift of immeasurable value. We cannot be the family, but we can assist the patient's loved ones to the extent that they can affirm and, even in their grief, live out their love for their loved one, so that their loved one moves from this life into the next life as gracefully as possible. We work with the patient to help the patient find physical, emotional, and spiritual comfort to such an extent that he or she can experience what we call a good death. Many of us in hospice are what we refer to ourselves as hospice sons and daughters. We have been the loved one who feels nearly helpless in the face of the mystery of death. We know from our own experience that we cannot take away the mystery of the journey, but we believe that we can help to lighten the darkness. And when the scraps and squares of a life have been sewn together, when every stitch is in place, we hope and we believe that there can emerge a pattern of meaning and value worthy of affirmation. Not all lives end peacefully. Sometimes words of love and appreciation and forgiveness are left unsaid. Some of the pieces of the quilt are left hanging. Know, however, that the final healing does not take place in this realm. That healing rests in the hands of our Creator. However, if you decide to join in the work of Annual Hospice, through your time or your work as a volunteer or your money, know that you will be joining in one of the most powerful and deeply meaningful experiences life has to offer. Because, as the Jewish saying goes, we are the arms of God. Thank you for your presence with us here today.
I'd like to thank you all for coming here this afternoon. Thank you very much, Rick. I'm Don Capford. I'm the Foundation Director at Angel Medical Center. My job is to raise money outside of operations. I write grants. I help coordinate special events. I speak at engagements to try and raise money. We are a non-profit, not-for-profit hospital, which means we don't have any investors outside of the hospital that we are beholden to. There's no outside entity that's invested in us that expects a profit and a return on their investment. So we are not for profit. But I would like to share with you that through Angel Medical Center, you can donate directly to hospice, home health and hospice. If you want to make a donation, as Vic spoke about just a few minutes ago, you can help home health and hospice by giving your time, your talent, or your money. If you would like to make a donation to home health and hospice, you can directly make that check out to Angel Medical Center Foundation, and if you will put in the memo line HHH or home health and hospice or hospice, that money will go into the home health and hospice fund, and it will be spent specifically on home health and hospice. It will not be spent in any other fund or for any other purpose. If you direct your fund to be specifically designated, it goes to that purpose. So I'm here to just let you know that if you would like to give, that you may designate it and it will be used strictly for hospice. Thank you very much for being here.
Once again, we want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to support hospice. You've already supported us financially. You support us with your presence through your contribution for this event. I'm recruiting volunteers. I recruited two back here in the middle. I want to encourage those of you that have the time and the interest that you reach out to Betty Palmer here and talk with her about opportunities, both here at hospice service and also at the hospital proper. We are very, very blessed with your participation in those volunteer programs, and so we want to thank those of you who already do that. We are not only a nonprofit organization, but we're also a community service organization. You're going to read some things if you read the local press. You're going to hear some things over the coming days and weeks about the challenges we face as a healthcare system. It's true in our hospice care division. It's true in our hospital division, especially these days. and even with our physicians' practices and our other services. We serve this community as a nonprofit community service organization. We want to be sure that we can continue to do that, and your contributions both to this hospice service and to other forms of service for Angel Medical Center help ensure that we can continue to do that. So I want to thank those of you who already give, whether it's of your time, of your financial resources, or otherwise. We are very dedicated to continuing that legacy. We're celebrating a 90th birthday this year, and I keep talking about the legacy that is the Angel Brothers, Angel Medical Center. We can consider that, take that very seriously as a call to action for us to make sure that we can continue that legacy that the Angel Brothers laid down. Very excited to celebrate 90 years this year of service to this community, to Macon County and surrounding communities.